Hi, I'm Steve Morgan, founder of Cybersecurity Ventures and editor-in-chief at Cybercrime magazine. I'm here today with Ashley Rose, founder and CEO at Living Security, a scalable online platform that delivers game-changing cybersecurity education and training through unique and fun storylines and mini-games. To learn more about Living Security, visit livingsecurity.com. Welcome, Ashley. It's great to have you with us today. In the wake of the recent hack targeting Twitter, tell me it isn't true. They come out and announce that their employees need to be trained. They need more security awareness. That's Twitter. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, in general, well-intentioned users, can end up causing massive damage for any organization. A lot of them, not even realizing they've been compromised until it's too late, right? So, paranoia just really isn't usually a part of company culture. Many of us don't even believe that adversaries would ever target us. So, unfortunately, unless users are reminded frequently that secure behavior should really be top of mind, it's often forgotten or ignored. So, Twitter employees, they've been focused on connecting the world, not securing it. So it's a common mindset that most companies face, and change in that mindset and training sometimes, unfortunately, doesn't come until after a breach.
So I know that Twitter has somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 employees, a lot of people. What should every one of their employees know about social engineering and phishing, which obviously they didn't know, at least not a few weeks ago?
Yeah, there's a few general rules. At the very kind of basic side of this, be cautious and keep security top of mind, whether you're at home or you're at work. All the time, we need to be cautious. Over the past years, phishing emails have become more sophisticated. And the same thing can be said for kind of phishing and social engineering type phone calls. So you have to be on the lookout for the obvious things like spelling errors or unknown senders or fishy links. But we need to have a heightened focus on tone and always be asking why behind every email and every phone call. And then specifically on phishing, these attacks are becoming more common, especially if you have privileged access to systems or information or any types of credentials. Any request to buy gift cards or transfer money or to do something, the first thing you should do is nothing. Really take a moment to stop and think about the situation. And don't be afraid to hang up and then, check for accuracy, call back a trusted number, verify first.
So we're not here to bash Twitter. They're a great company. These things happen to a lot of companies, but they are an example. It was just a year ago when their CEO, Jack Dorsey, was hacked and somebody took over his account. So now it's a year later, and again, they're a victim. Are companies getting it, Ashley? Are they, spending enough time on training their employees? Are they taking this seriously enough?
Like I mentioned earlier, oftentimes it's really not happening until after an attack. And unfortunately, in this type of scenario, you've seen, it happened once and now twice. Potentially the first time thinking it was some more of an isolated type of incident. Didn't spend time, resources, kind of dedicate that intention to the wider workforce. So I would say there's a part of the workforce and CISOs and security awareness program owners that we talk to that are dedicated. They are a firm believer in security awareness and training, and that people are just as important and as the process and technology components of our security organization. But unfortunately, there's still a good percentage of them out there that tend to ignore it, either by not enough time, not enough resources, not enough money and budget. And they really underestimate that as really being one of the top priorities for them to secure.
Now, I know Living Security works with a lot of large companies. You've been very successful with Fortune 500 companies. When you start getting up into some of these larger enterprises that have 10, 20, 30, some companies upwards of 50,000 employees, is it substantially harder for them to get their arms around training so many people?
So I don't think having a large number of employees necessarily means it's absolutely harder to get everyone trained, but it does mean they have a larger attack surface for anyone trying to get in. So the intention needs to be on having the right type of training that resonates with the culture and at a frequency that keeps it top of mind.
So I've heard you say that security awareness training is broken, and you put on a great event, kind of used that tagline. It got a lot of buzz. People are definitely aligned with you on that. But what do you mean, when you say that security awareness training is broken?
Yeah, so what's broken is really the company's mindset and still falling back to that status quo or the minimum required effort to simply kind of check the box for training, not putting people first. So there's always going to be a human element in cybersecurity, no matter how advanced technology gets. It's not hard, but it does require that amount of intention to make training engaging, relevant, and top of mind. But that's what it takes to be effective in addressing human risk. So kind of moving beyond that status quo and going above and beyond for your people is what it's going to take to fix it.
So if I'm a large enterprise, if I'm a CISO who recognizes, training is broken in our company, we do have a problem, we need to go back and take a look at, how we do this. How do they fix it? Where do they start? They, engage with you with Living Security. What's step one?
Yeah, so a couple of key areas here. One, we like to say we like to provide compelling and memorable content that creates a security experience. So I always like to ask the team, who remembers the last test they took in college? Right, nobody. But everyone remembers that first party they attended, Steve. Mm-hmm. So it's the experience that forms the connections in the brain and allows you to remember at a longer time and frequency. And so then take that experience and make it flexible into your company culture, your mission, and your structure. And then be agile in style. Never stop training for the next threat. We like to, recommend that our clients partner with intelligence teams, that they leverage data outside of phishing simulations to really understand your behavior and then adapt.
So you recently staged a virtual conference. There was a lot of buzz. I know it was sold out, and people had some great things to say afterwards. Who attended, and what did they have to say on that conference?
Yeah, so it was a fantastic event. Thank you for partnering with us and helping us to reach a wider audience there as well. We ended up having over 1,000 people across industries, job titles, clients, prospects engage with us through the event. And then on average, we had attendees spending over 2.5 hours with us during a 5-hour event. So, I like to look at those stats, and really the engagement speaks for itself. The industry is craving thought leadership and ideas on how to break out of the rut that we're in right now. So yeah, wildly successful. And again, really appreciate your partnership in that as well.
So we interviewed CISO at a large enterprise, Kathy Hughes, Northwell Health, 68,000 employees. And when people ask her how big her security team is, she says 68,000. So is this the way large enterprises should be thinking about security? Is everybody, kind of a part of that security team?
Absolutely. Kathy is 100% right. Every single member of an organization is a potential risk due to their dependence on technology. Therefore, everybody should be considered as an extension of the security team. Arming employees with the skills, what to look for, what to do about it, and really, more importantly, the mindset to be security aware and active, know what to do if there's an event or a concern of an incident, are really keys to embedding security across the culture.
So if a company is on the right track, Ashley, as far as delivering the training, engaging training, and they're starting to crack that code, what about testing the employees, testing their knowledge? What do you have to say about that? Is that broken too?
A couple different things here. I'll address this in a couple parts. So, I think to start, a lot of times I hear program owners say they're going to leverage their annual compliance training to check the box for everyone, then offer what works, right? Those engaging training and experiences as an additional activity. So, that's really the first place that we need to start. We need to fix it. It's really a critical time for program owners to know that you don't have to choose one or the other. That we've actually built a way for you to do both. the agility to tailor content in a way that meets your organizational priorities, as well as easily measure the effectiveness of the training and do that at scale. And so for some of the things that we offer, we have, automated audience generation, preset personalized campaigns. We're allowing clients to release targeted training across the organization or based on triggers. So let's say somebody falls below a certain security threshold or score or fails a phishing assessment. And then really what we're building towards is that just-in-time training. So when people exhibit risky behavior outside of the platform, that we can follow it up. And so the reporting and the analytics on the back end, and I think this kind of addressing your initial question, it provides, somewhere that's easy to see, easier to measure what's actually being effective. So, maybe one set of training content is not working for a specific audience. Well, we can address that based on our dashboard and then make sure that we're following it up with something that will work and then continue to test that over time. So definitely not impossible. I think, definitely broken on some systems, but that's why Living Security went out to try to tackle this problem.
So you talk about the program owner, the program manager. Is that a security awareness training manager? And do most large enterprises have one of those these days?
Yeah, I would say a majority of our customers, and we definitely target the large enterprise, has one to, sometimes up to 10 plus people that are specifically focused on security awareness and training. Oftentimes this is in response to a breach or leadership and, their prioritization of security awareness and training across their organization. As we look at middle market or even into SMB, we've named these people the kitchen sink, right? These ones are the security director that has part of their time, part of their day dedicated to security awareness, but the rest of the time they're doing a lot of other things. But definitely the enterprise, we believe, is ahead of the curve in their prioritization and dedication of resources right now.
So can you tell us about a company? I mean, you don't have to name names, but, give us an idea of, a company who may have been broken, came to you and you helped fix them.
Yeah, so a couple examples come to mind. One from the financial services sector and the other pharmaceutical. When we started engaging with them, both organizations, they had trouble engaging their users with their program outside of their mandatory compliance training annually. They really wanted to change the way that people thought about security as an ally versus that no team, and believe that the cultural shift would cause more positive security behaviors. And then they wanted an easy way to provide more targeted training based on roles and then their internal threat detection. And so we started out delivering the high impact team-based training to high risk groups within the company, and then following up with surveys to assess the culture's response to the experience. And we had such great results based on those users' responses. They determined that adding gamification and an experiential approach to learning was something the team enjoyed and wanted more of. And so they actually decided to adopt our approach in replacement of what they were using for their annual compliance training and additional training throughout the year. So just a few stats that I pulled from these case studies. We had a 96% user preference of our training over other providers. Year over year, engagement was increasing with additional training, meaning people were choosing to get involved and be part of that security team, like Kathy mentioned. Reporting rates increased from people who are a part of Living Security's training experience, especially now with the workforce at home. That wider reach is essential to understanding what's happening on the ground. So that was huge for them. And then there's always room for improvement. So as Living Security continues to evolve and mature our offerings, we really believe we are on our way to making something strong and long-lasting change in the space.
So it's great talking to you. I feel like I'm talking to, a security awareness therapist, if you can really fix companies. And I'm curious, how much of this is talking to the company up front before you actually introduce the Living Security technology or platform? How much time do you spend with companies getting a sense of where things are broken or need to be refined?
I mean, it starts on day one, Steve, and we've really grown and trained up our sales staff as well as our customer support, our onboarding team, that we really want to partner with organizations. Not everyone's the same when it comes to what's going to move the needle or where they are at in a maturity model. And so from the first conversation, it's about learning what's important to you. What do you think is broken? What's going to move the needle? What do you need to report up to your CISO? What's that CISO reporting up to the board? where are those highest risk areas? What are the threats that you're most concerned about? So we definitely take a consultative approach to sales, but also that same type of strategic partnership through onboarding, through delivery, and then through the program rollout throughout the year.
So Living Security, has a great buzz right now. You're showing up in the media. A lot of CISOs are talking about your company. Obviously, you're acquiring a lot of new companies. Give us, some quick history on the company. When did you start up, and how did you get where you are today?
Yeah, so we founded Living Security in June of 2017. We're just a little over 3 years old, and founded on the foundation that security awareness needed to be fun, engaging, and memorable to be effective. And to start, that took the form of our escape rooms and our online training experiences. We've grown. Our content has really become best in the industry. It's created by amazing in-house production team that's made up of security and intelligence experts. And then over the last 3 years, we've built a really robust platform that allows our program owners, the security awareness program owners, to personalize and target training across the organization and then measure effectiveness so they can better manage their user risk. And so we've gained momentum in the market for our high production Hollywood style content, fun and memorable user experience, and then exceptional customer service, like we just described. To date, we've helped over 100 enterprise companies break out of the rut of that compliance-driven security awareness training, but we're really just getting started.
Yeah, wow. Well, over 100 large enterprises in 3 years. That's big in our industry. What's the future? Where are you going? Where's Living Security going to be, 3 years out, 5 years out?
Yes. Well, this is even more exciting for me. It's something when we first founded the company, we knew that there was a couple really high impact areas to tackle, one on the user experience side and one on data and behavior risk management. And so, now 3 years later, we're actually starting to increase our focus on that behavior and human risk data. And what does that mean for an effective program? And so we've been able to partner with clients and help their programs mature. So we're looking forward to helping them move to the next level. So things like just-in-time training based on triggers and events, and integrations that allow for advanced automation and delivery. And we believe pairing that with our best-in-class content and the user experience, we can offer our clients the best solution to keep training top of mind and reduce and manage human risk at scale.
So before we leave off, Ashley, I'm pretty sure that the Breaking Security Awareness program is still online. Where can people go and watch that? I think a lot of CISOs, if they've missed it, would want to take a look at this.
Yeah, you can check out breakingsecurityawareness.com. You can sign up and get access to all of our recorded content from that day's event.
Great. Ashley, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm Steve Morgan, founder of Cybersecurity Ventures and editor-in-chief at Cybercrime Magazine. Visit us on the web at cybercrimemagazine.com. Joining us today was Ashley Rose, founder and CEO at Living Security, a scalable online platform that delivers game-changing cybersecurity education and training through unique and fun storylines and mini-games. To learn more about Living Security, visit livingsecurity.com.